To round off the day's showcases, we bring you AutoVRse. Founded by Ashwin Jaishanker and Adarsh Mutapa, AutoVRse is India's fastest growing AR/VR company. Their flagship program, Burst Builder, enables enterprises to create and develop VR applications at scale for training, remote work, compliance, and sales. Serving 100 plus clients, including Shell, Philips, and Amazon, Burst Builder reaches 300K users annually across heavy industry, pharma, and manufacturing. The company is at a 4 million plus annual run rate and is developing VR gaming titles for MetaQuest and PlayStation VR. Please welcome Ashwin Jaishankar, CEO and co-founder of AutoVRse, to the stage.
Hi everyone, I'm founder and CEO at AutoVRse, where we help enterprises, Fortune 500 across the world, harness the power of XR and AI. My name is Ashwin, and let me begin by introducing you to my co-CEO, AI Ashwin. So he's my replacement, and before you question my hiring choices, let me tell you how I created AI Ashwin. Because to train an AI to be like you, to think like you, it needs to know everything about you. So I told AI Ashwin about my entire life story, about how I was born and brought up in Bangalore, how both my parents are entrepreneurs. I told him about the comics, the cartoons, the movies, and the shows that shaped me. About how I lost myself in these worlds and started writing fan fiction for Sherlock Holmes, for Tintin, for Harry Potter, how I was lucky enough to go to a college and build with friends these games and experiences that taught me that even with next to no resources, but with some imagination, you could make a dusty field in the middle of Rajasthan look like a Quidditch court. Right? And how it taught me that I love building these games and experiences that make people lose themselves for a minute, give them that wow feeling, that magical feeling, and how in 2015 I had the most formative wow moment of my life when I was standing on the surface of Mars. This is the Google Cardboard, and even this IMAX screen doesn't compare to what that $5 headset made me feel. And that's when I realized that VR is a medium where you can create these moments, these experiences that simply cannot be matched by any other medium. And so in 2016, I started AutoVRse. This is the first time I pitched AutoVRse as a VR car design review tool for automotive designers. Yes, and the TAM was too small, but I was young and naive, look at me. Because the thesis was much larger, right? Because if laptops and desktops digitized desk work, VR, XR, spatial computing, this is the medium that is going to digitize the work that people, like the places that people actually work with their hands, the factory floors, the refineries, pharmaceutical laboratories. That's the ultimate potential of this technology. That's where it creates the largest impact. And so we've now trained more than 300,000 people in these industries. And as AI has come in, we've been able to generate these simulations faster than ever before. So now, if you want to create an XR app to assemble an IKEA rack, all you need to do is ask Burst Builder AI and it'll do it for you. But this is a $30 rack. Right? When it comes to equipment that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, AI-assisted DIY creation is rocket fuel for enterprise XR adoption. At each of these magnificent customers of mine, subject matter experts, it could be lab managers, it could be production managers, people on the factory floors, they can now use AI to create these XR apps. And so, yeah, we've gone from 0 to 4 million in ARR over the last 18 months. We have positive gross margins of 80%. We have a net retention of 164% and no churn, because what these subject matter experts can do is they can take their existing documentation, maybe it's videos, maybe it's Excel files, PDFs, whatever existed, feed it into Verse Builder AI, and you get a full-fledged VR simulation near instantly, right? And because of this, we've now shipped more apps this year than has ever been shipped in all of VR's history. At JSW Steel, thousands of workers are trained every month in AI-generated XR simulations. Now, these are processes that usually involve handling materials at a temperature of 1600 degrees Celsius. It can be dangerous and cause fatalities, but now we train them and certify them in these AI-generated sims. At AstraZeneca, scientists who don't even know what a game engine means are creating simulations that go far beyond training for patient care, for cancer cure trials, for drug development. And process by process, product by product, lab by lab, factory by factory, as each of these sims are created, we are uploading all this critical real process data, all this critical real infrastructure to the metaverse. Right. You're right, AI Ashwin, we don't use that word anymore. This is now a digital twin. And so, as my customers are growing more confident in what this technology can do for them, as they grow more confident and ambitious with these AI-assisted workflows, the number of use cases, the number of applications that they want to build for are increasing. And as I'm sure all of you now are feeling with AI coming in, all this is happening really fast. There's a lot to do. My job is getting really hard and I need help. And that's why I created AI Ashwin. So now AI Ashwin is with me on every sales call, every project update call, every product feature. He knows everything about me, so he can reason like me. And he can now draft emails, sales proposals, team messages, investor updates in minutes. He focuses on the mundane, so I can focus on the impossible. I can focus on questions like, my customers see how AI has helped me, and they ask how it can help them. Because at the end of the day, as you all have probably guessed, AI Ashwin is just a wrapper around ChatGPT or Claude, but it has the context of my life. That's why it can do so many of these jobs that I need to do. But when it comes to someone who works with their hands, a lab assistant, a factory worker, how will AI help them? When you want to operate a lathe machine and you ask an AI to do that and give you a wall of text, that's not helpful. How can we give this AI that context, right? So when we've been building these XR simulations, when we're uploading the real world to the virtual, that data essentially resides within Verse Builder. And so when you unleash AIs in these workforce, in these places, that the context that it needs to help you is in Verse Builder. And so then if you ask a lab assistant who needs to be trained on using a microscope like that, they would have to go to a lab, they need a scientist to guide them. But now you can do something like this.
How many microliters should I draw?
You're going to draw exactly 20 microliters with the micropipette. Make sure you've set the volume correctly, and you'll get that precise amount for your sample.
Thanks for the help.
This is a virtual microscope, and that AI knows exactly what instructions to give that person because it has the entire context. And maybe it doesn't need to be a virtual microscope. Think of a real drill. Maybe the AI doesn't need to talk, it can just highlight parts of that drill or any equipment. Right? And so when you're actually performing the operation, that AI can be by your side, guiding you, coaching you, teaching you. I know what you're thinking. All this looks really cool, some Iron Man, maybe Tony Stark's Jarvis, but this isn't a concept video. It is a real app built with Verse Builder, and this kind of technology is now available to anyone with a VR headset. I know what you're thinking as well. Is someone actually going to wear something this bulky and operate such dangerous machinery? Yes, 300,000 people have been doing this, but also the hardware is getting lighter. With the Meta Ray-Ban displays, I now have an AI sitting on my shoulder, seeing what I see. And it can see what I'm doing, I can ask it questions, it has all the information because it's been trained in the same XR simulation in which I was trained, and it can give me real-time guidance on what to do. As our customers are building out more and more of these digital twins, more and more AIs are going to be entering these workplaces. I'll leave you with this thought. The AI in self-driving cars was trained in GTA, or other 3D simulations, right? So as AI enters these extremely critical, essential enterprises, those AIs will be trained in Verse Builder. And Verse Builder is obviously becoming a very critical part of enterprise infrastructure. It's helping us take this real infrastructure and upload it to the virtual world. But when you have a medium like VR, where you have no constraints of reality, is its ultimate potential just mimicking reality, copying reality? Probably not, right? You should be able to do a lot more. What is that more? We should ask the true natives of this medium, the kids who are playing games in VR today. These kids are doing the impossible. They are hatching dinosaur eggs with their friends. They're then growing into 50 feet tall and then riding them. Just living out these impossible fantasies. In Tempo Travelers, our game, they're breaking the sound barrier. They're becoming superheroes, right? And then they create, because the way that I was inspired by those worlds growing up, these kids are inspired by these VR worlds. And then they build mods, they create videos, they post it on YouTube. And when they create these VR mods, they create it with our enterprise training platform, Verse Builder. This is art drawn by our Discord community for Tempo Travelers. They're in love with their characters. They then feed this art, feed the stories that they want to tell, and generate their own VR games. And then they post on YouTube, and all of this happens in 3 or 4 hours. The speed at which my enterprise customers work is, it takes them a few weeks. These kids do it in a day. And so we end up stress testing our platform, our creation features with these kids on the weekend. We test it over and over again, and they're very, very brutal, very direct with their feedback. So we're then taking these updates and then pushing it to enterprises. And that's why we're moving at a speed that no competitor can match. And this isn't a small market. There are 22 million monthly active users that are playing these VR games continuously. The top 50 VR games make more than 50 million, and every few months there's a game that comes out of nowhere and makes it 50 million, 100 million, completely organically. Later this year, on Christmas Day, a few more million users are going to wake up and get the Meta Quest as a Christmas gift. It's been the most popular Christmas gift for the last few years running. And when they do, they'll have another game in which to fulfill these impossible fantasies. This is a glimpse at our new game, also built with Verse Builder, called Monsterlands. So, 10 years ago, standing on Mars, I had a wow moment, a moment of magic with this technology. It made me dedicate my life to it. Over the next 10 years, my team and I have created similar wow moments for so many people. And now we've created a tool that helps people create more wow moments for more such people. And maybe you haven't had your wow moment with this tech yet. But I bet it happens in the next 10 years, and I bet that it will be built with what's builder. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwin. What a remarkable example of how Indian innovation is powering immersive technology globally.